welcome to my channel. My name is Nomkhuleko Zulu and welcome to my safe space. This is a space that I've created to share my thoughts, my feelings, and share some life advices with you guys. We are at the beginning of the year 2023 and we are getting back to the groove of things. We're going back to work, going back to school, and yes, for those of us who are Christians, this is the time where most of us commit ourselves to prayer and fasting. And on today's video, I want to talk about prayer, and this is like one of the most interesting topics that I really like talking about, because I'm a very spiritual person, so I really enjoy talking about such things. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video. By the way, let me sidetrack a bit. I got this really cute, I don't know if you guys can see it. I hope you guys do see it. I got this cute notepad from Mr. Price Home, and it was only 45 rands. And I got another one, a big one. Let me go get it for you so you can see it. This one. It is so cute. It is so cute. This was 85 rands, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this was 85 rands and this was 45 rands. So go to your nearest thingy, to your nearest Mr. Price Home, and yeah, hopefully they still have these. They are super cute. So I'm using this one now to write down my gratitudes and also write down my YouTube video ideas, because this is portable. I can put it in my bag. I can just always have it with me. Whenever I'm thinking of something, I can just write it down. Anyway, back to the video. Okay. Where was I? What was I talking about? Yes, prayer. What is prayer? What do I believe is prayer? I believe that prayer is a conversation you have with God. That's it. For me, that is what prayer is, a conversation with God. And you know, like, we all have different definitions of who God is or what God is. You know, I'm not going to like try and explain that, because everyone has their own thing or their own belief or their own definition. So whoever you say God is, that is God. So yeah, prayer is a conversation with the higher power. This is where you talk to God, you ask whatever you want to ask, because we like asking as humans. You ask whatever you want to ask. You tell God whatever you want to tell him. You thank him for whatever you want to thank him for. And yeah, basically, you tell him how you're feeling. That is how I pray. That is how I pray. I have a conversation with God, like in a way that I would have a conversation with like my best friend or, you know, anyone. Yeah, that is how I pray. And the purpose of this video really is to just talk about why it is actually important to pray, you know, and also talk about what to do after you pray. One of the reasons why I pray is for clarity. I pray to get clarity on how to navigate life. Whenever I pray, whenever I have a conversation with God, it is usually to get like a clear scope of what I am supposed to do in certain situations. Another reason why I pray is to basically strengthen my relationship, or to strengthen my confidence in God. I see God as a friend. Like, I see God as many things, and amongst those things, I see him as a friend. So the kind of relationship I have with God is that whenever I go to him, when, like, that relationship you have with your friend, that one friend that you can talk to about anything, and whenever you go to that person, you always come out with solutions. And because of that, like, you just have some sense of trust in that person. That's my relationship with God. That's how I approach God in prayer. Whenever I pray, I come out believing that whatever it is that I've spoken to God about, that I've told God, I know for a fact that I am going to have solutions for those things. You understand? Like I said at the beginning of the video, that prayer for me is a conversation with God, and a conversation is a two-way thing. You don't just talk and not listen to the other person. So whenever I pray, I make sure that I listen, and I find out what God is saying to me. And I used to struggle a lot with this because, like, when you go to church, everyone just stands up and we just pray. The culture of praying when you're at church and the one that you actually should implement when you're alone are two different things. When you're alone talking to God, obviously you need to listen to what God is saying. And I used to struggle because I would hear people say, yes, you need to listen to the voice of God. You need to listen to God. And I think to myself, like, how does he even sound like? How does God even sound like? Yes, I'd love to hear him talk to me. And, I didn't know what it meant when people say that you need to listen to God. And it was until I developed a personal relationship with God. Because that's the only way you will know God, and you will know how to talk to God. When you build a personal relationship with him. And a personal relationship is one, like, it doesn't, like, your personal relationship with God is not the same as the next person. You understand? So don't expect what you do to be the same as what the next person is doing. You understand? And it's just like this season where we in, where most people are committing to, like, Daniel fasting, 21 days of fasting. And because everyone is doing it, now you'll just feel the pressure to, oh no, because everyone is doing it, if I'm not doing it, it means that, I'm not Christian enough, or I'm not godly enough. Like, no. If your spirit hasn't really told you to do it, don't do it, because if you do it, it's just going to be in vain. Like, you're just doing it because everyone is doing it. So your personal relationship with God is unique. You understand? So how I know, or how I listen to God, is that whenever I'm praying, I say whatever I want to say, and then I keep quiet, and then I listen. It may come as thought, but because in that particular moment you're not really thinking, you're praying, it may come as thought, but it's like a very empowering thought that you get immediately after talking to God, or Sometimes it may come as a word. Sometimes it may come like as a full conversation. Like you may hear like a full response of what you were asking about. Like I don't know how to. That's how I experience it. You understand? So build a relationship with God. Build a relationship with God so that you know how to hear the voice of God. Because there is no point in praying, in talking to God, if you will not listen to what He is saying. You understand? Because sometimes we pray for things and not see results because we don't listen. So now, after praying, what do I do? Like after I've prayed, let's say I was praying for something, I was asking God for something. What do I do after that? After praying, I leave everything to God. But I definitely do take action. And I take action believing that everything works for good for those who believe in God. This is the most powerful attitude that you need to carry when you go to prayer. You don't pray and just hope for the best. It doesn't work like that. You don't just pray and hope for the best. It doesn't work like that. If you do that, you will not see anything. When you pray believing that everything works for good for those who believe in the Lord. Meaning that if I am praying for a car, I need to believe that the universe is conspiring to actually give me that. Now, I need to get my bum up. I need to think of the possible ways I can achieve that. Believing that God is going to give me inspired ideas to get me the money. Understand? Because if I'm praying for a car, like no car is going to fall down from the sky. Or yes, maybe through miraculous intervention I win the car. But most cases, the universe works around to actually help you to get to that goal. And it takes you taking an action. Like you need to get up, you need to think, you need to be aware. Goes, okay, this is my prayer and I ask God for this. I ask God for this. So I believe that He's going to help me. He's going to give me the ideas. He's going to give me the tools. He's going to help me meet the right people for this idea to actually come to pass. Right? Yeah. And then also eliminate doubt. When you pray, don't have any doubt in you. When you ask for something, ask believing that come high, come low, come dark, come light, come whatever I am asking for, God is going to come through for me. That is the attitude you need to have when you're praying. Make sure that you believe, you have no doubt. You believe with all your might and all your power, with everything inside of you, to say, whatever I'm praying for, I will most definitely get. And the last one is to trust in God's timing. Guys, the time zone in upstairs in heaven and the time zone here on earth aren't the same. I think most people get discouraged because whenever they pray, they want like instant thing. Especially in this era where everything is just instant porridge, instant instant this and that. Like we expect things to happen just like that. And that's not how it works. You know, when you pray for something, especially when you're praying for like big goals, when you have set like big goals for yourself and you're praying to God and you're asking Him to help you with that, you can't expect like an instant porridge kind of a response. It doesn't work like that. You have to trust God's timing, even if it takes 5 minutes, an hour, a day, week, years, whatever. Trust that it is the best timing for you, and it is what God has set for you. Because sometimes we pray for things not knowing that we don't have the capacity to hold the blessings that we are actually praying for. So yeah, basically that's that on that. And I would really like to encourage everyone. I'd really like to encourage everyone watching this video that if you're not a prayerful person, do it. Like, don't consider, just do it. Because prayer does a lot for a person. Prayer does a lot for a person, and it is the things that we speak onto the universe, and these things become our realities. Like, our prayers become our realities. You have no idea how many answered prayers you are sitting on as you are watching this video. If you could just take time and think about how many things you prayed for and God actually did come through for you. It doesn't matter how long it took. It doesn't matter how long it took for you to actually get those things, but you eventually got those things. So that should show you how much important prayer is. And yeah, I do hope that this year brings love and light and answered prayers to every one of you. Thank you so much for staying through until this far. I love you guys, and please do like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Don't just watch, please subscribe. Thank you. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next video.